Peace, family. How's everybody doing? I'm recording this on Monday night, and I won't be posting this until the actual day of the Pisces full moon. So if I start to say things on here and you guys are like, what is she talking about? It is Sunday. I think it's on a Sunday. Actually, I think it's next Monday. Then please forgive me. But peace, family. I hope everybody's doing well. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of A Way of Life. And today we'll be talking about the Pisces full moon happening on September 20th. I actually really liked the energy of this full moon. I did try to focus more on the positive sides of Pisces instead of going into the darker sides of Pisces. I might do a separate post about it because I do think it's important to have those conversations, but I also think we had so many other heavier placements, especially with that Venus and Scorpio, that I thought to myself, don't want to overload and dwell too much on the darker energies. But I had mentioned before in the past that I'm challenging myself to make sure that I'm not painting a pretty picture when I know for sure that there are some people out there who are really going through some things. So here and there, you'll hear me maybe perhaps touch on the Pisces energy just a little bit, but for the most part, I'm really focusing on the solutions, what you can do instead of the other way around. So, all right. So this is a deep letting go of what we have been moving through, a deep reflection of what we have been unconsciously carrying and emotionally holding on to, because we're ready to release here. Full moons are about releasing and letting go. So, what are you ready to let go of? On a soul level, what are you ready to let go of? You can see your spiritual growth here, how far you've come. You've learned a lot, and now you're ready to open up to new things. Where are you putting your daily efforts and time into? Where are you seeing the results of the changes that you might have made? And are you recognizing when you're too far off balance? When I was thinking about this energy, I was reflecting back on the 4-hour work week. Um, Having a chance to read that book might help a lot of people with their daily routines and how to think about them more sustainably, because that's what Saturn's going to keep coming back to reinforce and ask us all the way until 2023. So wherever you're having Saturn in your and whatever house it's in right now, it's going to be there until 2023, showing you consistently where the cracks are in your foundations, in your goals, in your planning, in your retirement, in your long-term goals, in your short-term goals, and your discipline. What are you letting go of that has kept you from perhaps fulfilling your greatest, deepest desires? And so working through these things and making sure that you're asking yourself these tough questions and even recognizing the good. Again, we're not focusing on the negatives here, but really beginning to see and understand how far you've come, what changes you have made, and really thinking back to perhaps maybe 5 years and like, what was you doing then? What did you have planned then? And what have you accomplished? If you haven't accomplished any of those things, can you go back to those things, refine them, redefine them, reorganize them, rethink them, and come up with a new, different plan? That is what I found the most awesomest news about this entire full moon out of anything else that I talk about here today. I just thought like that was such a magical moment that I wanted to just sit with it and just really in awe of that because I've personally come a really long way. And if I'm being honest about it, I don't actually think that I always give myself that benefit, that congratulations, that pat on the back, that very good job, you know? And so in this moment of reflection for the next month or so, we have this retrograde energy. You know, as you're sitting there reflecting and relaxing, make sure you're reminding yourself that you also deserve this downtime too. You know, before we just try to push forward when we still have so much from the past that is just unraveling. And you know, honoring ourselves for doing the work that we've done this far. I think it's probably going to be one of the most honorable things to do during this time. Again, out of anything else that I say here today, that was just really beautiful energy there. Pisces rules Neptune and it will conjunct the moon. Um, in which is in Pisces. So there's the opportunity to dissolve and transmute energy from dark to light. We'll get the opportunity to let go of emotions that are outdated. If you feel tired, hungry, thirsty, overwhelmed, or again, the need for like downtime, dreams, even like clarity in your dreams, you could get clarity from your dreams, but clarity of what you're ready to release. Um, these things are indications of what you could be feeling at this time. And they could be indications of, you know, the things that you need to reformat, to transform in some way, shape, or form. Feelings can come to an head, so it's a great time to have a really good cry. I actually incorporate those at least every 3 months. Because it's good to release energy. But doing creative projects and spiritual practices are going to help us get through this time more than anything. And I think that I've talked mostly about those things, especially when it comes to Pisces. It's yoga, meditation, martial arts, um, a retreat, resting, and then the creative projects. So the moon opposite the sun in Virgo rules health and healing. Virgo wants to be precise and nail the facts, but it can run into misinformation, trying to figure out, you know, what's true and what's not. Definitely been experiencing some of that, and I've talked about this in my other lives as well. How I've just been kind of fluctuating between like, whoa, who am I and what am I doing here? Um, but I feel like we could get clarity from this energy now, especially with that Mars and Libra energy. So I just did a live on Mars and Libra. If you haven't listened to it, I'd go check it out to help you. It can be used as a really good energy to help you with some of those questions. But going within is best right now rather than relying on external information. So if you have intuition about anything and your heart is telling you like don't do something or do it, follow that as opposed to doing research and listening to what other people are saying if it doesn't align with you, right? I definitely don't think that this is the time to really depend on what other people are saying. And I have this actually coming up very heavily for me too about sending my son back to school. You've all heard me talk about this 1,000 times too, but I can't. I even tried to. So another reason why I'm bringing this up is because Libra is all about balance and hearing all points of views to make a good decision. So, you know, like thinking about the judge, right? Libra rules, you know, law. And so I said to myself, I feel pretty guilty because I'm also trying to keep my son's best interest at heart as well, right? And what he wants, and not just what I want for him. So I was like really struggling with this. Like, let me just listen to what they have to say. I was invited to the Zooms. They had two separate ones for people who could make it, but the first one, I just I wasn't feeling it. So I went to the second one and it was even worse than the first one. It was just like these people have absolutely no clue what they're doing. And I don't think that's in a bad way. I don't think it's to judge the people. I think it's the system and the structure. So if we go back to last year with all the astrology and everything that I talked about, the one thing that was very clear is that these structures and systems have not worked for us, do not work for us. So why are we continuing to try to create that same wheel? Not to say that none of those things worked well, but a pretty good portion of the pieces that we were using are not sustainable. They're not healthy and they don't allow for true freedom, right? And so even in thinking of it from that sense, I don't want to go back. I just, my heart would not let me go back into that same hamster wheel. My mind was like, nope, not doing it. And so if you're feeling some of these things very strong, a strong cosmic no, or a strong internal no, follow that instinct. Okay. Mars and Libra needs to sit down and have a conversation when he'd rather get on with it and do more contemplating. That really is supported at this time. And then we have the grand air trine with Mars in Libra, Saturn in Aquarius, and the North Node in Gemini. So we have support in our relationships with Mars and Libra that we can interact with. And then the Saturn energy is the stability, what is clear to us, and where can we direct those energies, which has been a little bit harder because that Uranus Saturn square that we've had all year and will have until the beginning of January. So again, this is not about, don't be so hard on yourself when you are making all these new decisions, because we still don't have all the information to make the right decisions anyway, right? So we can only work with what we got. And so I feel like even in this is just, again, going back to the full moon, the new moon energy that I did, and I whatever other videos I did out there that are just like reinforcing this idea of work in small segments, do what you can, but whenever you can't do something, just allow yourself to spend time with family and build on those relationships that you have. That's the best thing to do. But like being realistic, we got things to do. So nobody can just sit around all day on their laurels, even if they wanted to, you know. But we're asking questions, getting information, putting together a plan. That's that North Node and Gemini energy. So that's going to lead us to the more community efforts, working with neighbors, getting support from siblings, and working and building on those relationships are going to be a lot more supported, at least until October, because we are ending the Gemini Sagittarius cycle. And I also talked about this in the October horoscope. So I won't go too much into that, but whatever this is that you learned from this energy, how are you going to move that into the next phase of your life? I'd even say going back to some other things and replanning and configuring things. And then Venus and Scorpio, we may need more time to ourselves if other people's energy are pulling you into spaces that like it's their priorities and the direction that they want to go into. Not that that's a bad thing, but having your boundaries, and again, no is a complete sentence. This is not about no like being rude or disrespectful or anything, but knowing your boundaries, knowing your energetic levels, and what you want to align with at this time is super important. So get clarity on your boundaries and your time. Libra and Pisces wants you to be concerned with others. Venus and Scorpio is like, oh, why did I agree to do this? So there's an opportunity to look at where you're over giving, over providing. Take time to yourself to get focused and on how you communicate what you need. Okay. And then Mercury will trine Jupiter. So this is ideas, plans, travel. I also think this could be like philosophy, spiritual, choosing between spirituality or religion, or just depending on your spirituality or religion to help you with something here. But yeah, Sun trine Pluto is going to transform your sense of responsibility to yourself. Awareness of how you want to share your energy, what matters to you, and what are your priorities. This is going to expand your vision, especially with business. This could be business negotiations, signing contracts, organizing to create a common good for everyone. Definitely working on more things like that. So I wonder what other people are doing out there for yourselves around this kind of idea. But when you feel truth, you know it is so because it makes you feel good. It takes the weight off of you and it doesn't result in suffering. I think the best example that I have for this family is just going back to the conversation I think I had in a live that I did a few weeks ago in relation to business partnerships. Like I have a business partnership with Tiara and she is the bomb.com. I know she's the truth because when I am working with her, I feel good about it. So, and it feels good and it feels free. I don't feel obligated to anything or pressured or, going back to that energy of being pulled into somebody's direction or, what they want you to do. I don't feel that. So if you will feel free, right? um the truth literally feels like it sets you free. It will free you up to relax. It will create a place of calmness and peace. The shadow side of this is unrest, inner conflict, dis-ease, a lack of peace. You are believing something that is not divine. It is the voice in your head coming from somewhere else or outside of yourself. So being careful not to get caught up in, what's going on in the world, or people who are controlled by fear, and really knowing the difference and knowing again to put your boundaries up, like that's not for me, but I hear you. um Venus also rules finances and money, and Uranus is about what you value, and Scorpio is what you share. So shared values, emotions, investments, assets, and debts can come up. Opposition This opposition, sorry, could be more financial surprises coming up, financial developments coming up, and unexpected things announced. It's a good time to wait things out because of the instability of that Uranus energy. So that Venus opposite Uranus energy could bring up some things that are a little uncomfortable and can send you down the fear path. But just remember that this is a time to build with people. And if you feel like you need help, ask. And if you feel like you need support, find a group of people where you can get that from. And last but not least, Venus will square Saturn. Saturn, this rules coming to some sort of understanding, clearing some fears, and that continues to get support until the end of December, which I actually really liked this energy. Um, because Saturn is all about goal setting, structure, getting some structure. And these are things that we've kind of already been working on with the Saturn energy. And so really just again clearing, re considering, thinking, working out, working through some of those things to clear those fears that we might have. It's going to be whatever it is, either way, again, it's going to be something long term. And so, really just remembering that what you can do on a daily basis towards your goals is going to be helpful, even if it's just small, minute things. But even more so, it's going to be small, minute things because there are so many different factors here. We still have retrograde, so we don't have all the answers. Um, People are still unsure of what things are going to look like. We can't really see the future. We're working on faith, off of faith here. And so again, just being super conscious of that and not being so hard on yourself, and knowing that whatever it is you're building is definitely long term. These are not things that are going to evolve, work out, or come to fruition for a while. All right, family. So that was it. That's all I had for this energy. I'm really, really, really excited about it. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes up for me personally. I've had a few different things come up. I still got some Virgo clearing and cleansing to do, which I'll be getting the opportunity to start this week, and starting to do some more writing. And yeah, we're just really challenging myself to do different things. So I have the next Tuesday on A Wine Way of Life. We have the live with Wine Down with Royalty TV. We're going to be talking about the mandate to get the shot to go to work. And we're going to do some self-care tips around that and talk more about the importance of building a community and partnerships. And outside of that, I'm working on the horoscopes for the next year and the eclipses. So that's going to take a few months before I finish. So I wouldn't look forward to seeing those anytime soon. But yeah, family. I hope this information was helpful. Peace.